I appreciate you clicking on this video. Like, subscribe, click all the stuff down below. We're getting close to 7,000, and I really would appreciate if you help me get close to 7,000 subscribers. So click like and subscribe. Check out all the links down below. Thank you for watching this one. All right, so here's what we're working on today. Arrows for my new bow, and there'll be a video about that, but arrows. So I built these Easton 5.0s. I wanted them as light as I could get them, as fast as I could get them for TAC, shot 3D, and things like that. So these are like 27 carbon to carbon. They come in at 349, which is perfect for where I wanted them for weight. I could go a little heavier, but I was right where I wanted them to be. The problem is, I shoot a lot of different bows, and depending on which bow I'm shooting, different let-offs, and really just every manufacturer is a little bit different on what your draw length is if you really get specific with it. But my newest bow, I'm drawing 29 inch long draw length, and my other bows are 28.5, 28.75. So these come right up and just get on the QAD with this tip here. So I don't like that because I'm afraid it's gonna catch, it's gonna unknock an arrow and end up being a dry fire, and they're just too short. So I'm gonna cut some more 5.0s, about 1.5 inches longer. We're going to try some different fletchings. I love these DCA mini sabers. They've been great, but I do want to try some other ones just because we're here to experiment. That's what while we're doing TAC and shot 3D and all that. So, so this is the basis, but longer. So let's get to work. All right, we'll square these up. Get a Q-tip, clean out the carbon that's in there so we can get good gluing. I've got some big plans to do some different arrow build setups, but for this particular one, because of the bow I'm using it on, I'm looking at a pretty low profile vane. The roller guard is really close to where the arrow is going to go, so I want to make sure I don't have to worry too much about hitting anything. So I'm looking at, these are the Q2I Fusions. X3.5 SL for, I believe, super low profile. A little longer than what I'd want, but low profile like I like. This is the Alpha, Boeing Alpha. A little bit taller, says no primer pins. It's stiff, which is nice, but you can see it's quite a, I say quite a bit. It's a little taller than the QTI, but not near as long. So weight-wise, the Alpha is going to be 8 grains. The QTI is going to be 9.8 grains. So the Alpha comes in a little lighter. Let's see what else we got. We also have the DCA mini sabers, which I really like, but I'm afraid they're going to be a little too tall for this. They come in at 5.8, so weight-wise, the mini sabers are really nice. In reality, they're not any higher than the boning. Just the shape of them a little bit, but they're not really any taller. I thought in my mind they would be a lot taller. Interesting. So lightest, probably the lowest profile, but super long. Kind of a combination of the two on this Alpha. Which one would you go with? Let's see if we can build these up. All right, so we're gonna use a white tack vane wrap and the Alpha boning Alpha fletch. I think that's a good combo of a little bit longer, a little more steering ability on these long range tack shots. It's not as heavy as the Q2I, so hopefully it'll kind of be a balance of the two and kind of a good middle ground. All right, one down. 5 more to go. So I'm using this Bob Smith glue. I actually heard about this on the guy that does the DCI Super Sabers. He recommended this on a lot of stuff. He said it's really good, and so we're gonna give it a try, and it's a lot more affordable than buying like name brand glue. So if it's true what they say about boning sticking to anything, then this ought to work no problem. Also, these are apparently pre-primed, so don't have to use a primer pen on them. We're going to test that theory out as well. All right. All right, take our Q-tip, just clean them up. First one's done, it looks sharp. We'll get the rest of them done, let them dry, get our inserts in, our hit inserts in, and then we'll test them, see how they fly. All right, so we've got them all fletched up. We're over here drying. They're probably already dry. So for the most part, this Bob Smith glue seems to be doing really good. It takes a little longer to dry than like a TAC vein glue combo, but you get 2 ounces for about $5 as opposed to 1 ounce of like TAC glue for 15. So much better deal. Seems to be working really good, at least on these boning alpha veins. So what we're going to do now is get our hit inserts in. All right, so a couple of these I actually hot melted in the hit insert. So I'm going to unhot melt them, and then I'm using Gorilla Super Glue Gel. This works really pretty good. My only problem with using this super glue is, I mean, it's permanent. I'm going to put it on this grooved part here. What I always worry about is if any of it gets on the threads, I'm not going to be able to get my tip in. So I've got super glue on this. We're going to cram it down in. I'm going to twist it a little bit as we're inserting it, and then we're going to go all the way down to where it hits the bottom of that, and then pull that out. And I'm going to give this end a quick wipe down to get any glue off. I might put a Q-tip just inside that. I'm not going to push it down in there, but just inside that lip. So that needs to dry. It won't take too awful long, but definitely need that to dry. And on to the next one. This gel glue does take a little harder to get out, but it is, oh shoot. I like the fact that it's not real runny and it doesn't smear up and down the half out. So again, I'm going to put it in, I'll give it a little twist while we're inserting, and we're going to run it all the way down till that hit insert hits the bottom, or the top, hits the shaft, I guess I should say. Wipe that off so we don't have any glue on there. And we're going to let that dry. Got one more. All right, so while these are, I'm going to let that glue, the insert glue, dry overnight. Let the veins dry overnight. I think everything's pretty good, but we're just going to let it dry to be safe. What I like about this setup is with this little insert, the hit system, fairly light veins, not the lightest veins, but pretty good veins. So we're coming in just the arrow, coming in at 264, maybe 265. The half out, or the collar system, if I want to run the collar system, 100 grain tip, I'm coming in right at 384. So plenty fast enough for TAC, stuff like that. I can run a 125 up here. Now I'm pushing into the low 400s, which is right where I want to be for deer hunting. So I think this gives you the ability with this arrow setup. I could get a little more FOC, a little heavier. I could even run a 150 beast up here, and then all of a sudden I've got a lot of FOC. I've got perfect grains for a whitetail deer. So I could use the same shaft, the same length shaft for TAC, Shot 3D, and deer hunting. It's just a matter of putting the collar on the front and which tip I put up front. So I really like that. I like that setup. So I will probably run this like this with just the 100 grains up front, not a collar for TAC and Shot 3D, just the hit system, 100 grains up front. I'm looking at 363 grains, which is going to be plenty fast. I'll be able to reach out 120 yards, it may be a little further, depending on my setup. But that's a great weight for Shot 3D and TAC. And again, I have the ability to thread in a little heavier front, tip up front, put a collar on to get a little more durability with this front end, and now I'm ready to go deer hunting. So I think that's pretty cool. So we're gonna let these dry, and then we're going to paper tune them. All right, so we got our arrows built, they're dried, we've got our 100 grain tips in, everything should be good and fletched. So we're gonna check consistency of weight first and foremost. 363, 363, 364. Well, that one's coming in a little heavier. Yeah, that one's 364, so a grain difference. 364, 363, 364. So all of them really close, within just a grain or so. What we're going to do now is I'm actually going to knock tune these, because these are Eastons, so they don't have like the spine line or no spine technology or whatever. So shooting these long distances, I do think it is important to go ahead and knock tune them, make sure you're getting the perfect bullet hole every shot. So we're going to paper tune, and we'll mark the indicator up. We'll mark the top of the knock wherever when we do get it set. So that's next on our agenda. So that one's good right out of the gates. So just like I had it in the arrow with the indicator out, I'll take this paint pen and I'm going to put a little mark on the top of this wrap, just so I know to make sure that's up every time I knock this arrow. And on to the next one. All right, so I only had to shoot like I think 2 of them twice and just give them a little bit of a turn just to clean them up. But other than that, they all flew really good. We're gonna go get a 20 mark, we'll get speed, we'll get all that stuff, we're gonna get sighted in, we might shoot a little bit of a Vegas round with these arrows, but so far they are exactly kind of what I'm looking for in a do-it-all hybrid arrow. Again, we're coming in at 363, just like it sits. Great, but these alpha veins seem to be doing pretty good. I am seeing a little bit of kick with this really bad crosswind that we've got. I think the gusts today are like up to 30, but so I'm seeing a little bit of a kick from a crosswind, but nothing bad, nothing major. They're still hitting right where I'm aiming. They're hitting consistently. They seem to be flying quiet. So these boning alpha veins look pretty good. These 5.0s seem to be flying good. The question is going to be how much clearance I'm going to be able to get once I build a sight tape. The way I've got it set up right now, I don't see a ton of clearance right here, which worries me, which makes me think I might have to bump my peep up so that I can get a little more distance. But I don't know. That'll be one of those things we're just going to have to, time will tell. But for right now, we seem to be shooting good, shooting straight, bow's holding good. That's the main stuff. We can tweak the other stuff as we go. our new Easton 5.0 build. We went about 1.5 inches longer. I think these are 27.5, maybe 28 carbon to carbon. I'd have to look at my saw to see what they are. Went with the Boeing Alpha vanes. I like them. I can't really say until I get out and test them at long range how well I like them, but just shooting here at 20, I thought they shot pretty good. I did see some movement, severe crosswinds today, coming out of a shop that doesn't have any wind into a windy crosswind. You're probably going to see some of that, but they hit where I was aiming every time. So they seem to be really good, quiet. Weight's not bad. The DCA mini sabers were a little lighter, but you had a little less surface area to help steer your arrow downrange. So I thought maybe a little longer for these longer shots might be the way to go. We're going to play around with them. We're going to experiment with them. I do like these 5.0s. I like the ability to add a collar and then a bigger broadhead and get a little more, a little heavier broadhead and get a little more FOC, so I could still use the same shaft. I could buy 24 of these and last me all year. The same arrow, same fletching, same everything, just swapping out a collar and a bigger broadhead. That's kind of where I want to be. And most arrows that I've found are too heavy to also be able to use them for a TAC Shot 3D arrow. These 5.0s, the HLRs and like that 350 spine, those are kind of the ones that I'm potentially playing around with doing something like that with. So I hope to hunt with these arrows this fall, if I find one I really like. But these seem to be doing really good. I've turned out I really like the hit system. I didn't like it at first, but it's grown on me once I've kind of figured it out. Solid arrows, solid vanes, seem like they're going to be quiet and they're going to steer these really good. Stick around, we'll be launching some longer bombs with these arrows out of this new Prime Divide 33. You'll want to be a subscriber, like, follow, comment, so you'll see when these new ones drop, and maybe we'll see how these do at 100 yards and so on and so forth. We've got a lot of fletching testing coming up. I've got a bunch of fletchings. Some people have sent me fletchings. I've ordered fletchings. We're excited to see how they're going to perform downrange. So you definitely want to stick around, like, and follow so you'll see that stuff. If you're looking for fletchings, you're looking for 5.0s, you're looking for primes, go check out Fish and Stuff in Sherwood, Arkansas. They're the #1 prime dealer, Darton dealer. They'll hook you up, take care of you, and make sure your bow is shooting excellent. So go check them out, follow all their social medias, link down below. If you're looking for an e-bike, check out RamboBikes.com. Use RRR Woods at checkout. If you're looking for new strings for your bow, Palmetto Precision Strings, link down below. Check them out as well. Follow all their socials. Thank you.